Have you ever seen someone retire in their 50s or even their 40s and wonder, how did they pull that off? They're not working, they're traveling, they're spending time with their grandkids, and they don't seem worried about running out of money. Meanwhile, most people are working into their 60s or even their 70s, not because they want to, but because they feel like they have to. So what's the difference? It's not always about earning more or inheriting a windfall. It's about understanding the rules of retirement differently and playing the game smarter. Wealthy retirees follow a different path. They spend intentionally, build multiple income streams, and use strategies that most people never even hear about until it's too late. They don't just retire early, they stay retired. And they do it without sacrificing their lifestyle or living in fear of outliving their money. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how they do it and how you can apply the same principles no matter what stage you're at in your financial journey. If you're wondering whether it's possible to retire earlier than expected and stay retired for life, this video is going to open your eyes to what's actually possible when you plan with precision. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Dan Shevlin. I'm president of 2020 Financial Group. For years, I've worked with individuals and families to help them build retirement plans that actually work. Plans that don't just sound good on paper, but deliver confidence for decades. Today, I'm sharing with you the same core principles that allow high net worth individuals to retire early and maintain their wealth for life. Let's dive in. They know their enough number and build backwards. Here's something that might surprise you. Wealthy people don't retire based on a birthday or a net worth milestone. They retire when their plan says you're ready. And that starts with knowing their enough number. They don't just shoot for some vague target like, I guess I'll need a couple of million. They work with an advisor to get crystal clear on what kind of lifestyle they want to live, what the lifestyle will cost per year, and how long they need their money to last. What factors could increase or reduce that cost? Let's break it down. Suppose someone wants to retire at age 55 and live on $90,000 per year. They might be healthy, love to travel, and plan to live a long life. They're not just guessing if $2 million is enough. They're asking, if I need $90,000 per year for the next 35 years, and I want to adjust for inflation and avoid outliving my money, how much do I need saved and where should I invest that money? That becomes the foundation of their plan. It's not random, it's calculated, and once they know that number, they work backwards. They ask, how much do I need to save annually? What's my expected rate of return? What are my fixed and my variable expenses? What tax bracket will I be in during retirement? This is where most people go wrong. They work and save without a clear target. Wealthy retirees reverse engineer everything. They don't let fear drive their decisions. They let data and strategy lead the way. They build multiple income streams, not just one. This might be one of the most misunderstood parts of early retirement. Having a big account balance isn't the same as having income. Wealthy retirees don't rely on one account or one strategy. They build layers of income, each one serving a different purpose. Let's break it down. The average person retires with a 401k or an IRA. That's great, but drawing from it too soon can trigger taxes and penalties. And if that's your only source of income, you'll feel vulnerable every time the market drops. Wealthy retirees think bigger. Their income might include Social Security, timed carefully to maximize the benefits, rental income, which provides predictable monthly cash flow, taxable brokerage accounts, which give them flexibility with long-term capital gains, business income, like consulting, coaching, or investments in a small business, fixed income annuities, which provide guaranteed income streams, Roth IRAs, allowing for tax-free withdrawals later in retirement. Each of these streams does something different. Some are flexible, and some are tax-free. Some are designed to help grow your investments. But the beauty of this multi-source approach is resilience. When the market's down, they might live off the rental income or cash flow from annuities, giving their investments time to recover. When taxes are high, they lean into tax-free Roth withdrawals or capital gain harvesting. It's not just about how much you saved, it's about how you access that money. This is why wealthy retirees don't panic during recessions. They've built a retirement income engine, not just a savings account. They can retire earlier because they've created cash flow, and they stay retired because that income is diversified and durable. They master tax-efficient withdrawals. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make, regardless of their net worth, is waiting too long to think about taxes in retirement. They focus so much on saving and investing, they forget that at some point they'll need to take that money out. When that day comes, the IRS is going to be there waiting. Wealthy retirees don't ignore this. They get ahead of it. In fact, they often start 5 to 10 years before they retire, setting up a tax strategy that helps them keep more of what they've earned. So how do they do it? First, they understand the tax nature of every account. Traditional 401ks and IRAs are taxed as ordinary income. Brokerage accounts benefit from lower capital gains rates. Roth IRAs and HSAs offer tax-free withdrawals. Annuities can be taxed partially or fully depending on the structure. Then they create a withdrawal plan that's customized to their future tax bracket. For example, if someone retires at 60, they may not claim Social Security until 67. That 7-year window is a prime opportunity to do partial Roth conversions, moving money from a traditional IRA into a Roth IRA while they're in a lower tax bracket. Even though they pay taxes on the conversion now, they're setting themselves up to better manage taxes on that money later. They also take advantage of standard deductions and capital gain thresholds. For example, in 2024, a married couple can have up to $94,300 in taxable income and still remain in the 12% federal tax bracket. That's a huge opportunity to withdraw smartly without overpaying. Wealthy retirees treat tax planning like asset allocation. It's part of their long-term strategy, not a one-time decision. And here's what that means. They pay less in taxes over their lifetime. Their retirement money lasts longer. They don't get hit with surprise Medicare surcharges or Social Security taxation penalties, and they have more control over how and when they use their money. If you're not thinking about taxes in retirement, you could be losing more to the IRS than to market volatility. Wealthy retirees know this, and that's why they plan smarter. They budget for healthcare early before it becomes a problem. Healthcare is one of those retirement risks that it's easy to ignore in your 50s, but can be devastating into your 70s and beyond. Here's what I mean. Most people assume Medicare will cover everything once they hit 65. But the reality is Medicare Part B has monthly premiums. Prescription drug plans, Part D, often come with additional cost. Supplemental Medigap or Advantage plans have their own rules, and Medicare doesn't cover long-term care. The wealthy understand that retiring early means a gap in coverage. If they stop working at 60, they have 5 years to cover health insurance on their own, often at much higher premiums. But they don't let that stop them. They plan for it years in advance. Here's how. They set aside funds in a health savings account during their working years. HSAs offer triple tax advantages. Contributions are tax deductible, the money grows tax-free, and withdrawals are tax-free when used for qualified medical expenses. They compare private insurance plans or ACA marketplace options for the retirement healthcare gap. They project healthcare inflation. Knowing that medical costs often rise faster than general inflation, they project healthcare inflation knowing that medical costs often rise faster than general inflation, sometimes by 5 or 6% annually. They explore long-term insurance or hybrid policies that combine life insurance with long-term care riders. Most importantly, they don't ignore the what-ifs. They stress test their retirement plan for major diagnosis, like assisted living or memory care needs, spouse caregiving scenarios, or the rising cost of home health aides. Because they know the earlier you build healthcare into the plan, the less likely it is to break that plan later. Here's the result. They're not surprised by premiums. They're not panicked by out-of-pocket cost. And when a health challenge arises, they're focused on healing, not on how they're going to pay for it. That's not just smart planning, it's financial well-being. They spend differently than you think. We assume wealthy retirees are reckless spenders, but that's rarely true. What they actually do is spend intentionally. They separate their finances into 3 distinct buckets: essentials like housing, healthcare, food, insurance; lifestyle, things like travel, hobbies, dining out; and then legacy or flex planning, where you'll do charitable giving or helping family members. This mental accounting helps them avoid overspending in any one area while maintaining financial confidence. They also follow a dynamic withdrawal strategy, adjusting spending in down markets and increasing it in strong markets. This guardrails approach gives them the ability to enjoy their money with more confidence. They think in terms of cash flow, not just net worth. One of the biggest mindset differences. The wealthy don't ask how much is enough. They ask how much income can this portfolio produce forever. They understand that a $2 million portfolio doesn't mean $2 million to spend. It means generating sustainable income while preserving capital by using the 4% rule as a starting point. Bond ladders, dividend-paying stocks, annuities with income guarantees, and a mix of taxable and tax-free buckets. They create a spending strategy that replaces a paycheck for life and helps keep their wealth intact well into their 80s or 90s. They don't go it alone. This might be one of the biggest secrets of all. Wealthy retirees rarely do all this alone. They work with professionals who help them monitor markets, rebalance portfolios, analyze taxes, run simulations, keep them from making emotional decisions. Because they know that one mistake in retirement, like selling low, taking the wrong withdrawal, or missing a tax deadline, can cost far more than a planner ever would. Retiring early isn't about being lucky. It's about being intentional, diversified, and tax efficient. If you've been saving for years, but you're unsure how to turn that into income without running out, this is your moment. Book a call with me using the link in the description below. And let's walk through your income plan, tax strategy, healthcare coverage, and investments so you can retire confidently and stay retired. Let me help you build a strategy designed not to just survive retirement, but to truly enjoy it. See you in the next video.